What's next? The statement, don't take this in the wrong way, or I'm not trying to be mean, are actually triggers and really not a way of being compassionate with someone else in a conversation. It's not even a conversation at all, it's how to start an argument. Even though if you have the most altruistic, fair, loving idea behind it, once you say, don't take this in the wrong way, you put the person on the defensive. When they say, I'm not trying to be mean, the person's basically saying, I'm not being mean, but I'm put in this position because of something which is probably the person they're talking about, the reason for it. A better way would be, I don't know how to phrase this, but I want to have an open conversation, or something's bothering me and I want to discuss it because I need to talk about it, and I'm not the best at trying to put my words into the right order. Something like that, where you're putting not so much to blame, but the power, or you're giving the power to the person you're talking to, while you're taking responsibility on yourself, because you're willing to kind of offer a olive branch, saying that you want to discuss this with them, that there's a problem that you have seen from something that they did, or something you've seen, but something that they said. But you want to take it as your responsibility to control the situation, your responsibility for if things go negative, you want to be the understanding one, and you want to take their barriers off, their reason for defense, because they don't need to defend themselves, because it's your fault for not being able to phrase this in the right way. It might not always work, but it's the most compassionate way of phrasing something. And in order to, if you really meant, I didn't want to be mean, you want to be compassionate. So you want to take some of the responsibility upon yourself. Or, I don't want to offend you, but if you really meant that, you wouldn't have said that, because when you say, I don't want to offend you, once you say the but, anything you use but for, it really means, I'm going to anyways. So the best way is to try to phrase things in a way that you never have to use but. You want to say, I want to have a conversation, I want to be compassionate, I want us to be friends, I want it just to be a nice, quiet, passive, friendly conversation where no one needs to be defensive. There's a situation that we need to resolve, but we need to resolve it in a calm, relaxed manner. Because the only way to resolve a situation is calm, compassionate dialogue. Once an argument starts, no one's going to win, and the best bet is to cut ties and walk away. So if someone comes to you and says, I don't want to be mean, but your best bet is to say, then don't say it, and walk away. Because they're not going to be helpful. Whatever they're going to say, although you might, as a compassionate person, be able to take it, they, as a non-compassionate person, probably are not going to. And why bother having a conversation with someone like that? Unless you know them, unless they're someone you really trust. And if they happen to come across in such a sort of way, and they use the, I don't know, but, and you trust them, and for the most part they are compassionate people, well, just, sure, absolutely continue the conversation. Maybe they just don't know how to phrase things, or maybe they're having issues outside of your interpersonal relationship and need to vent off some steam. And actually, if someone comes to you that you trust and love, you have compassion for in your heart, then if they come to you and want to vent some steam, I see no reason. You're not really sacrificing yourself, because as long as you realize it's outside of your relationship between the two of you, you're having a conversation, you're letting them vent steam, and you're listening. You're really not talking too much, because you really don't need to solve the situation, because you can't. If someone says something that you know is going to be outside, that they're needing to vent, your best bet is just to listen to them talk. And I guess that's another thing. If someone comes to you and says, I don't mean to be mean, but, or anything but, maybe you should just stand there and listen to them talk. But don't talk yourself, because there's no benefit. Once anyone uses but, there's honestly no benefit to you to continue the conversation. But that's just my opinion, and I would love to have anyone else share their other opinion, because I want to grow as a person. I want to understand other perspectives, and I'm not the best at interpersonal relationships myself, but I do a pretty good job of understanding and watching from an analytical point of view. But that's not healthy, and I know that. What's next?